I've been in isolation lately, and that's why I was able to, get a lot of stuff done that I've been getting done. And I just been thinking to myself, and this shit personal. This shit definitely personal. I'm a real genuine person. I'm a real genuine dude. And I'm not one of those people who say they genuine, but behind closed doors, they really a snake, or, they narcissistic, or they hyping themselves up. Anybody who personally know me will tell you I'm probably one of the most peaceful people they ever met in their life. One of the most loyal, one of the most solid. But you do still, as a person that has that positive energy, that has that good light about them, you still run into people that's like energy demons. You're gonna have a lot of hardships, because unless you find your person, or unless you find your one, and this ain't even just related to relationships. This could be friends, family members, business partners, anything. But you will find those energy demons that just feed off of positive people. And a lot of the times they know what they're doing, but they'll still try to make it seem like they're oblivious to the stress and anxiety, or the heartbreak, or the mistrust that they cause in the person that they dealing with, because they always taking. And people like me, we're blessings to people. We're always giving. We're always trying to help. And it got to a point where, for me to find real peace in life, I just had to accept that, everybody not me. Humans are humans. You got some good, you got some bad. You got to take the good with the bad, but you also got to protect yourself. So if it comes down to having to cut something off, or cut someone off that you really had a strong emotional tie to, I've done that I'm not gonna say a lot, but just over the course of my life. I'm 34 now. So I have dealt with people on multiple occasions where I'm just like, damn, because I am actually a real genuine person, if I ever fell off with anybody, I'm not saying this to be funny, because you'll hear people say that and be like, come on now. But if I fell out with a person, it was definitely them. And if I was ever wrong, it's never nothing crazy or serious. And I will admit that, I have accountability as a person and as a man. So that's never been an issue. But anybody that I was real deal locked in with, and again, this ain't even just on a relationship level, like homeboys that I had to cut off, family members that I had to cut off, because I am really a genuine dude, it was them. You know what I'm saying? And I sat back and I thought to myself, like, damn, no matter how genuine you are with some people, there's literally nothing you could do to change how they perceive you and how they perceive themselves to be the victim. There's nothing you could do. And when they tell their story, best believe the story is always going to be told with you being the bad guy and them being the victim, even though it's usually always the other way around. I noticed that about people like that. Like, they'll tell it, everything they'll say, they can really be explaining themselves. But when they telling the next person, they're explaining themselves to them about you, saying that you're what they are. Just real narcissistic, just evil behavior. And if you feed into it, even as a peaceful person, it will cause you a lot of stress. So the best way that I got around it and got over it was to just accept that, hey, live life, learn from your mistakes, take them as a lesson. You know what I'm saying? I don't too much regret it, because I feel like it's just certain things in life that are very valuable lessons. You know what I'm saying? If you're a wise person, you will take that in, because life is never going to be perfect. So I took those situations, I learned from them. I learned how to react to it, how not to react to it. You know what I'm saying? How to take it in, internalize it, accept it, and let it go. And letting it go is always going to be your best option. It's always going to stand out the most upon any other option. You know what I'm saying? Crashing out is not an option. Going tit for tat, not an option. Going back and forth, not an option. But that takes growth and it takes practice. Just like anything else, it takes practice. working on your emotions. You know, emotional control is everything. If nobody can control your emotions, they can't control you. Only you can control you if you are strong within your emotions. But if you're not, it's gonna be like a puppet master pulling on your strings because you can't control yourself because you're too emotional. Now, we human. That's not to say you can't feel sad, you can't feel hurt, you can't feel anger, you can't feel like you've been betrayed. You're gonna feel all that. So anytime I tell people how to deal with people like that, I say, look, you human, or if you're just going through something in life, it ain't even got to necessarily deal with people, but you're human, you're going to feel things. You're not a robot. Feel it, take it in, but after that, control it, let it go. You know what I'm saying? You got to let it go. That's the only way you're going to really get through it. And then depending on the situation, you know, if it's something serious, it's something heinous, I can understand that some people just can't let certain things go if it's that bad. But if it's minor, or it's not up there on the pyramid of like, damn, this is like crazy, this is bad, like murder or something like that, you know. But if you can, I'll just put it this way. If you can let it go mentally, the best thing for you to do is to let it go. Yes, it is easier said than done because we humans and we have emotions. People feel betrayed. They want to be heard. They want to be seen. They want to let you know why you was wrong. And they oftentimes, good people, we just have a hard time understanding how we could be so good to somebody or something, and they turn around and shit on you. And you just sitting there trying to wrap your mind around it like, is this really you as a person? Like you just looking at them like, I don't believe that. I don't believe that you believe what you saying about me when I've been nothing but genuine to you, or how you going about treating me when I've been nothing but genuine with you from the jump. But y'all gotta understand, it don't have nothing to do with you. That's their soul. That's the type of spirit they have. That's a spirit. You know, I think a lot of people that's like that are just born like that. I don't think it's a learned trait. I don't think it's a taught trait. I think most people are just born like that, and a lot of them don't even know they like that. Like they don't, or they don't think that deep. Like, this is how I am. You know, some people are aware of their fuckery. Some, it's just like in them. I can't explain it. The same way a sweet spirited soul person, they could be going through the worst situations in life, but it never changed them because that's just in them. That's their character. So when you a solid person, it's just in you. I'm not built to do no fuck shit to you. I'm not built to tear you down. I'm not built to be non-appreciative of people that show me genuine love. I'm not built to turn my back on somebody that really was there for me when nobody wasn't, and then go out into the world and show more love to strangers than the person that really cared about me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not built like that. I'm just a loyal person from the womb to the grave. Like, that's all I know how to be. So I can't be nothing different but real and loving and genuine and understanding and grateful, you know. But everybody don't have that same mindset. Everybody come up different for whatever reason. We humans, so nothing's gonna be the same. But if you have somebody in your life that you know is genuine, and you have that type of trait to where you just self-sabotaging, or you want to fuck everything up, or you always looking for something wrong, the best advice, if you want to keep that person in your life, is to show them you appreciate them, respect them, you know what I'm saying, cherish them, be grateful for what they do. The quickest way to lose somebody that's really in your corner, that's genuine, is to shit on them and not be appreciative of what they done for you, not show them grace, and not be grateful. You don't have to do things we do for people. I've done 100,000 things for people that I didn't have to do nothing for. Most I didn't benefit from at all. I'm just doing it because I genuinely care about you. And I feel like that's what somebody who's a real friend or a real partner or a real brother or a real son, whatever, is supposed to do. So I always been like that. I always been genuine. Ain't nobody have to make me do nothing. Everything I do, if I'm helping anybody, is purely from the heart. I don't need nothing from you. I ain't trying to scheme you. I ain't trying to scam you. I'm doing it because I just genuinely care. You know, since I was a kid, since I was a jit, that's just how how I always was, even with my own family. Like I used to think about stuff when I knew we ain't had that much money. I used to tell my pops, like, I don't need that candy bar. To the point my pops was like, look, I know you smart. I know you real smart to be so young, and I peep what you doing. He was like, man, get that candy. If you want that, get that. I'm good. Your daddy good. Your daddy gonna be straight. But it was just the fact that even as a young person, I was always so self-aware and just aware of my surroundings and what was going on for me to even think like, man, you know, Pops ain't got it. I'm a little kid. Like, Pops ain't got it like that. I don't need that. And for him to notice that, I've always had that in me. I always say, if anybody ever told anybody anything other than positive things about me, I would be willing to have a sit down with anybody who I've ever crossed in my life if they ever have anything negative to say about me in front of a group of people. And let's go facts for facts. I don't want to hear no lies, no fabrications, because 99% of people that know me will tell you, man, Juan cool as hell, peaceful as hell, amazing dude. But you got that 1% of people in your life that's just demons, you know, that you run across. And they would say otherwise. And like I said, I would sit down with any one of them. Let's go fact for fact. Let's see if this makes sense. Let's get a crowd. You know, let's go to a therapist. If that was the case. It's not that deep. So I wouldn't really have to do that. I'm just giving an example of what I would be willing to do, because I'm not afraid of it. You can put me on a lie detector test because I know I'm solid. So that's never been a question with me. But, you know, lately I have been extremely isolated, just working on myself, hustling, building up my YouTube channels, working on my music, cross promoting, you know, doing this for y'all. You know, I'm really a secluded person. So this a big jump for me to even be open to get on the video and tell my thing. You know, I'd rather be ducked off somewhere, not posting, vibing in nature, somewhere beautiful with some mountains, smoking good, living life peacefully. You know, I'm that type of person. But I understand, you know, as an artist, you gotta be in the midst. You gotta take advantage of this internet thing. And, you know, I'm a creative as well, so ain't really no way around it but for me to be in front of this camera eventually. So this is where we at now with it, you know, and I'm gonna keep this going. Like I say, I'm gonna keep it going. But I just wanted to speak to y'all today, just to tell y'all that you do have energy demons in this world. And like I say, some people, I even go as far as to say this, some people that I deem that, it's not that they were just a bad person all around. And I think that's where a lot of us come to the crossroads at, is like, damn, I'm thinking about all the good times we had. This person is, you know, cool here, cool there. But it gets to a point where it's like, I feel like if it's something heinous enough or that detrimental to where you feel like you can't come back from it, that's when it becomes a problem. When the good ain't outweighing the bad. When that bad starts taking over the good, I think that's when you have to recognize and realize this person ain't for me and I need to move on, you know. And it's, you know, it sucks, you know, it sucks. I'm gonna just keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it a buck, because a lot of times, man, we you know, you really locked in. There's not too many people on this earth, if you're somebody who protects your energy, that you would share really, really strong bonds with, like a person like me. I take that serious. So just me thinking over the years about, I could think of maybe like 4 or 5 different people over my 34 years of living that really crossed me, that I was extremely genuine to. Some homeboys, some lovers, you know what I'm saying? One of them family member, you know, and such and such. But it's just like, I really was genuine to him, you know what I'm saying? And some days I'll sit in the crib and, you know, I'm just thinking to myself, because I've been in isolation, so I don't have nothing but time to think. And I'm just like, man, that shit crazy that it's really people that will sabotage and ruin everything. And sometimes them people love you to death too, but they cause their own destruction. And it's hard for them to see, like, the very thing that you want, which might be me, you causing the situation to never be possible in the future because of the way you moving. And you don't even see it happening in real time. Even if you express that to them, Sometimes they just can't get that in their head, which is weird, because if it is a situation where that person actually does value you, but they so fucked up eternally that they can't fix themselves to keep you. So it's not always like these people that's energy demons are people that don't even care about you. You got instances where they care about you just as much as you might care about them, but they have something inside them that they gotta fix before they come to you. And you're not gonna be able to heal everybody, even if you're a healed person. And once that happens and y'all go y'all separate ways, you know, some people cool, they just go their separate ways. But then you have some people that like to try to falsely slander your name. You know what I'm saying? That's just a part of regret and hurt. It's just a part of regret and hurt. When they understand that they may have possibly lost something that they can never get back, that they love more than anything on this earth. You know, and it's hard on you too. It ain't like it's just a walk in the park for either side, because at the end of the day, if you have a strong bond with anybody, whether it be a family member, a lover, whatever, you human, like I said before. So you gonna feel it and you gonna go through it, even if you feel like, damn, I can't be around this person no more. I gotta remove myself from this situation. I can't be in business with you no more, even though you my partner. I can't be in an entanglement with this no more. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, you got to put that down and you got to walk away gracefully and peacefully. Because if you don't, and you keep exchanging your positive energy with a negative energy demon, it's going to crash out. It's going to explode. It's never going to be good. It's never going to work how you think it's going to work. People have to change on their own. And you have to recognize when you're dealing with that type of person. Yes, there's some people that you can definitely help change and they will take heed and listen to that. But once you assess the situation and you realize this ain't one of those people, you have to move on and let go if you want to keep your sanity and your peace of mind, you know, and never take it personal. If you actually a good person and genuine and you know that, never take it personal, because understand it was never about you. It was always about them and what they was battling internally within themselves. Once you understand that, you'll have a lot more peace in life, and everything will be a much lighter weight on your shoulders, because it was never about you. You did what you were supposed to do. You was a good person. You was loving. You was genuine. You was everything that person needed you to be. You was there for them at all times. If they don't reciprocate that with real love and respect, that's not your problem. You always be a good person and you always gonna be blessed. Y'all have a good day. Juan Ramon, Raw Reality Mindset. I love y'all. We out.